How's it going out there? It's Tuesday, July 12th. My friend Curzio is the Wall Street Unplugged podcast where I break down headlines and tell you what's really moving these markets. Just came back from the Meta Expo in Vegas. Just 5 days, literally. Just came back 1 a.m. yesterday. Probably hear a little bit of my voice. Amazing, amazing conference. Had several of my investors show up. Glad they did. Had a chance to meet them in person, share my vision with them. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of companies. They shouldn't have had it at the Consumer Electronics Show, where the Consumer Electronics Show is, which is the conference center, because it was really big. These guys from the Netherlands probably would have been better at a casino, because it looked like there was not a lot of people there, because it was so spread out, and the place is so big. 4 million plus square feet. Obviously, they use a small portion of that. But the companies in attendance were just incredible. The people I met, incredible. In my keynote presentation, which is on Saturday, I talked about how the game changer in this industry came in October. And that's when Facebook announced it would change its name to Meta. You could say, well, we had all these books that we read, and Ready Player One, and Facebook Horizons, and incorporating everything, mostly a virtual platform and all this stuff. Decentraland coming out in 2020, that wasn't it. The game changer was when Facebook changed its name. Now, that's a big story on its own. When you're looking at $1 trillion market cap company, one of the largest at the time, one of the companies that own the internet, next to Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, they're sitting in the living room close to 3 billion people, over 35% of the world's population. So not only does Facebook know what these 3 billion people want, since these users actually post their entire lives on social media accounts, but more importantly, Facebook's algos. They can predict what the users will want in the future based on tracking them and everything they love to post and say and do. So when Facebook changed its name to Meta and its entire business model, and this is a business model that generated $115 billion in revenue last year, close to 50% annualized growth over the past 4 years, and still growing, by the way. This is a company that generated $85 billion in 2020 and $115 billion in 2021. So it's not like we're seeing a massive slowdown, different technology, which is forcing this transition, or like we're seeing maybe with Netflix, who's now going in, well, say all in on an ad model to help grow sales as streaming is slowing. But I've never seen a company do anything close to this. It's significant. It's unprecedented to change that quickly. But make no mistake, this was not Zuckerberg or its management team saying, hey, you know what? I have a feeling this is going to be big. No way. This is a calculated move based on data that tracks 3 of the 5 billion people who are on the internet. Now, why was this the news? Why was this the game changer? Because once Facebook made this announcement, everybody started paying attention, especially the most important people, which is major investment banks, sell-side research. These firms over the next 2-3 months started covering the metaverse. And they weren't like, hey, this is pretty cool. This guy. Goldman Sachs wrote a 29-page report highlighting how the metaverse could be a $12 trillion trend. Morgan Stanley, a 30-page report. A $10 trillion trend. Citigroup, a 187-page report saying this could be a $13 trillion trend. Jefferies interviewed some of the top people in the industry. These are detailed reports. You have to understand. This isn't just like a 1 or 2 page report. And these reports are going to their entire client base, which is filled with multimillionaires, billionaires. And these firms have trillions in asset under management. And they're telling you, get prepared right now. So for me, you guys listen to this podcast, you know I follow Wall Street research religiously over my career. I was in that world for 30 years. 2 things that stood out about these reports, which I read every word in all of them. One were how detailed they were. This wasn't just like, hey, let me provide. When they say $13 trillion, Wall Street firms, they're not like what you hear in the media or what you might read someplace where they're like, I think this is going to be a huge industry. They calculate and put numbers behind it. And it was very detailed. They have to model. They can't just take a number out of thin air and say, here you go, this is where it's going to be. That's how they get their targets from. Again, you could disagree with the targets or whatever, the predictions, whatever. They were highlighting how many hours. I think it was Morgan Stanley broke it down by how many hours people spend on the internet and times that by how much the metaverse could capture over the next 5 years, 7 years. Then you had how much digital market share that they can capture. That's how Goldman and Citi modeled it out, but it was very detailed, doing interviews with top people in the industry. It was crazy. So you're looking at the details, but more importantly, it was the actual prediction, the total addressable market predictions of how big these firms think they would be by 2030. Now let me put this in perspective. Okay, because we throw around trillions like nothing, trillions all the time. It's not a big word anymore. Yeah, it's okay. It was $1 trillion industry here and there. And, you know, what was it? Bitcoin and crypto was $2 trillion. It was a little less than $1 trillion. You have $11 trillion thrown into this market, which has seen inflation, right? Through the roof. We know why. It's amazing at Vegas. Go to Vegas. Holy shit. As soon as I went there, I got there at 1 o'clock. Check-in was 3. So I got there Thursday, and then I wanted to go set up the booth because we had a whole media booth. So I said, all right, let me see if I could check in early instead of going straight to the convention center. And the very first thing, they're like, hey, how you doing? By the way, there's going to be, I think it was a $20 fee for checking in early. $20 fee. The room's ready, right? The room's ready. It's on Thursday, so it's not like it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, $20 fee. I said, oh, that's a surprise. Then they charged me another $180 for resort fees, which I did not see anywhere. So when you're using sites now, if you're using Expedia, you're using Priceline, it used to be that was the full amount. This is the full amount they're charging you. Now you're going there, it was an extra $180 I had to pay. So you're out, just fees. I mean, the inflation there is just incredible. I mean, you're spending so much money, it's insane. So much money to where I paid $25 for a drink one night. $25 for a drink. If you're lucky if you're paying less than $10 for a beer. It's insane. So trillions, we all know trillions, right? So the second part of this report is the total addressable market. These guys talking trillions. Let's put that in perspective. Because if you look at it, AI, it's expected to be a $1.5 trillion industry. Cloud, $1.5 trillion industry. 5G, $1.6 trillion. You're familiar with all those. Gaming, $500 billion industry. EVs, $800 billion industry. This is all by 2030. That's a rough estimate of a bunch of predictions. Or an average. So if you combine all of those trends, that's $6 trillion combined. Right? These are mega trends, which we all know. Highlight a lot of these things by going to Consumer Electronics Show. Many of you invested in these trends and invested early. Okay, so combined $6 trillion. Yet the metaverse, these guys are expected to be a $10 trillion trend. And again, that's average of almost all the reports I read. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. I mean, you guys are familiar with AI, cloud, EVs, gaming, of course, 5G. $10 trillion, more than these incredible, innovative, revolutionary trends combined. But predictions are just predictions. Supposed to have millions of EVs on the road by now, which was predicted by Ford, GM, most of the major auto manufacturers 3 years ago. 3D TVs was supposed to be big. Supposed to have drones everywhere by now, delivering anything we want right to our doorstep. Supposed to have all this stuff. So predictions are predictions. So as an analyst that read probably 10,000 plus sell-side reports over my career, I take predictions with a grain of salt because most of them are BS. But what I do take seriously is the money. When people are not just predicting something and saying, oh, I expect this to be this or that. It's when they're actually investing in it and putting investment capital behind it. And this year, 2022, only halfway through, over $120 billion has already flowed in to the metaverse. $120 billion already. I want you to think about that. And this money is coming from lots of big players. Tech leaders like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, Anderson Horowitz, which is one of the biggest, most prestigious venture capital firms in the world. They just raised $4.5 billion to invest in Web3, Metaverse, NFT companies in a blink of an eye. In a blink of an eye. This massive amount of money flowing into the metaverse right now in the first 6 months, I mean, you really need to think about it. Because what are we seeing? We're in a recession. We're not used to seeing money like this flow. And you're looking at deals, look at IPOs, quickly shelved. Looking at SPACs, gone. Companies trying to raise funding, almost impossible. Unless you have a company that's focused on a Web3, Metaverse, NFTs. You do not see this during these types of markets when we're whatever. You could say we're in a recession, we're not in a recession, pretty close to a recession. The market's getting crushed. Home price starting to come down now. Interest rates are going up. Harder access to capital. You don't see this. You usually see a total freeze in everything across the board, and you're not seeing it. The people who have money are going to invest, and they're investing right now into this trend. Now, why are they doing it now? Why aren't they waiting a little bit? It's because the metaverse is here right now. It's not going to take place a couple of years from now. It's not, I got to position myself for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I interviewed over 50 of the presenters at the Meta Expo, which you're going to have total access to. All that amazing content. I interviewed entrepreneurs, developers, influencers, companies that are building their own metaverse. And I asked them, where do you see the metaverse in a couple of years? And most of them are like, well, it's going to take a couple of years to get adopted and connect all these things and everything around it. But it's going to take a couple of years, but we're positioned right now. So you still think when it comes to mainstream, where people are not just talking about it, but actually in the metaverse and buying stuff, that's their take. That's their take. Based on my research, it's someone that has a pretty good track record of getting people into revolutionary tech trends before the entire world knows about them. The adoption into the metaverse, it's going to take like 6 months. I don't talk about total mainstream, everybody's in it, but in 6 months from now, it's going to be the conversation. It's going to be the topic. It's going to be on CNBC every single day. It's going to be talked about like Bitcoin. It's going to be everywhere. I mean, I've never seen this amount of capital flow into a brand new industry this quickly. And again, we're talking about in conditions where the economy is shrinking. We're in a recession and people are tightening their budgets. But even when I went to the CES this year, it had been going for, pretty sure it's like 10 years now, 40% of the companies canceled late because Omicron, and they were worried. And again, it was tough to fly, and it's international conference. Look at 4,000 companies usually attend. There may have been like 800 to 1,000 there, which is much, much smaller. That sounds like a lot, but it's much, much smaller because they didn't have time to reduce the space and put them in one area. So there was, empty spots everywhere. Where usually there's just, you can't even walk in some of these things when it's fully packed and all the companies are there. But the companies that were in attendance, companies I went to go see, and this was in January, they incorporated the metaverse into their presentations. So it's not just gaming. It's not just, these people are gaming. I got to have fun. This is the entry. It's the easy way to see it where, these people are going to play. We're used to Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, Oculus, the massive communities they have. The metaverse is going to make them even better. That's just right now. It's not just this wonderful game that, older people are going to try to play. No, it's not that. We'll be going crazy investing and doing everything in the metaverse if it's just gaming. It's not. Gaming is a $500 billion industry, which is 5% of the $10 trillion market, or total addressable market most Wall Street firms are predicting the metaverse is going to be. So it's a small percentage. It's going to be huge for retailers. Which retail? This industry is all about data analytics because it's very difficult to predict, especially when it comes to inventory, which we're seeing right now with retailers. It's all data-driven. And when you look at the data, which these guys do, the amount of people who experience the metaverse so far that have been in the metaverse, 80% of them have purchased something already. Why do you think every retailer is going all in on this. They're either in it or talking about it or hiring developers right now. Or they're going to be left behind. Look at social. What's social? Experience, connectivity. We all need, we saw it during COVID, right? We all need to be closer to each other and talk to each other, be interactive with each other, more engaging. That's what the metaverse is. More engaged, personal, a better way for people to connect. Look at entertainment, travel, education, training employees. All these companies are starting to incorporate the metaverse right now. But $120 billion in inflows already. That's not a trend that's expected to take long to develop. That caught me by surprise. I said, metaverse, you got to get in. It's going to be big. And my biggest problem, which, again, I always check my ego at the door and look to see how I can get better on the investment side, is I get into a lot of these trends too early. There'll be a little bit of downside first before they take off and work out. And that's fine. I'm okay with that, being a long-term holder. And a lot of you know that. A lot of you actually mentioned that. It was funny. Somebody mentioned that when I invested at a conference. So whenever you get in, I know it's probably going to come down first, but man, you've been right on a lot of these things. I get so excited. Out of those trends that got into early, I've never seen that much money flow into them. I was like, wow, this is a great idea. This is going to happen. We're seeing adoption here and there. You can see $120 billion in 6 months, especially during a recession, flow into it. I mean, that's the stamp of approval. The money is a stamp of approval. Anyone can make predictions and try to get you here, there. Crypto's going to 100 billion, whatever you want to, whatever crazy forecast. Try to get you into everything. You follow the money doesn't lie. So now Curzio Research, we're fully engulfed in this industry now, purchasing $5 million of virtual real estate in TCG's Metaverse, the largest ever. And that was beat out by a $100 million purchase recently in the same Metaverse in TCG. But TCG is going to open to the public in Q4 this year. And they were sponsoring the Meta Expo, you just came back from. The access we had was incredible. Our booth was the first booth as you walked in. Gotta thank Veronica Charette for that. Helped out tremendously. But we set up as a studio for interviews. And it was packed just about the entire weekend. I mean, I didn't have a minute of free time. We interviewed almost all the Metaverse companies in attendance. And the stories that we heard, I mean, these young entrepreneurs, people that had so many great ideas, and they were coming to us because we have credibility now. We made that purchase. We have security tokens. So being a bridge between crypto and Wall Street are two industries that really don't like each other. Crypto needs Wall Street. You need that money. Wall Street, if you're looking for innovation, here it is. It's changing the industry that you're in. That's why they're covering it so hard. But for us, we have the bridge. We have the Wall Street experience. We have people listening to this podcast. We have investors that want to invest and look for new ideas and find great ideas from us. And then we have the crypto crowd that trusts us. And you have to earn that trust. How? By being in the room, by showing, hey, we made the biggest deal. Like, they're like, oh, I think I heard of you. Like, yeah, we made the $5 million. That's you. You made the $5 million. Oh, my God. And then I'm looking at the structure of the company, and they're horrible. Everybody thinks they need to have a token. And I'm like, what's a token economics? And they don't even know. I'm not putting them down. I'm not saying anything. But my speech was about investors and how to raise capital. And by doing that, I had investors in the audience. And I picked one out. I said, how many investors in the audience? And, 10, 12 raised their hand. I know all the names, of course. And I reached out and I asked right on stage, I said, how long have you been following me? He's like, Frank, I think I've been following you since you're a teenager. I said, have I ever been wrong? And he looked at me. I said, no, have I ever been wrong? And he goes, yes. And I said, but you know why they're all here following me? Is because I never fucked an investor in my life. I said, so it's not the fear of being wrong. Don't ever lie to them. This is your family. These are people that are following you. And you want them to participate in your idea if it works out. And they see that you're busting your ass and you're doing everything you possibly can. It doesn't work out. They'll be okay with that. Trust me. They invest in it. They're smart. They know the risks and the rewards. And they're saying, okay, this guy worked as hard as he can, but just couldn't break through. That's okay. What they hate is when you're filthy rich and they didn't participate. And that's how their company is set up through tokens. Because people are going to buy their utility token, which doesn't even have a utility because a lot of these guys don't have, a business that's generating revenue yet, or maybe a little bit of revenue, but they want to set these tokens up. And I'm like, man, there's so many great companies and great ideas. If they just structured it right, structure it like we structured our security token. Forget about all the bullshit. And as we purchase more real estate, as we get more into this trend, as we get more names on our file and selling more subscriptions and financial newsletters and stuff like that, maybe we get taken over at a higher price. Everyone that's invested is going to benefit. Because I said, once you do that, and so many people in crypto and so many people even in mining, I see it in mining too. It's amazing how many people try to pitch me an idea. I say no, that company goes out of business. Or they're with another company 2 years later, and they'll call me and pitch me another idea. I'm like, you freaking out of your mind? Really? If I'm investing in you and your idea, you better be 100% committed. I don't want to hear about anything else that you're invested in, or I'm gone. That's why I'm investing in you. That's why I'm giving you the platform. That's why I'm telling you or telling people, hey, this is a great I'm the one that's vetting. I'm the one that's bringing this to everybody that I know. And if I'm doing that, I have to do the research. And if I'm not vetting you, you do something like that, it ruins my credibility. I told a lot of these kids, and just the ideas, holy shit, the ideas they presented were just, how they're going to use a metaverse. It was mind-blowing. By the way, you're going to have access to all this stuff for the coming weeks, all these interviews and everything. There's a huge opportunity for us where they're just looking for guidance. Like they don't know any better on that front, but yet they're creative and you want to unleash creativity. You want to unleash that. And that's the future generation. Let them go. Because when they're worried about how do I structure this or the Wall Street part of it, a lot of times the company goes to shit. You got to hire people that are good at what you're not good at. And that requires you checking your ego at the door. But that's where, from the first day, right? It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. From the middle first day, because we didn't do too many interviews at the beginning. Everyone just opened up their booth and stuff. And then we started doing interviews. And then word got around who we were. These guys are great. You could trust them. You could trust them with an idea. They're looking for everyone to benefit. They have a great audience, someone you could trust. He has credibility. And I can't tell you, I think it was every single company came to our booth. It was just packed the whole entire time, pitching ideas. Some of them were not that good. Some of them were very, very, very good. Some of them covered small caps. These ideas were fantastic. And most of it was a way to connect, a different way to get your name out there, to connect to everyone. But I look at this industry, it's incredible. I know many of you, even if you listen to this, or if you look at the metaverse, you say, well, Facebook, Roblox, Epic, which are huge. Epic's Fortnite. I mean, they're not really metaverses. And someone just downgraded Facebook, and I agree with that downgrade. Because Facebook is really stuck right now. They're stuck. Because they're changing the name to Meta, going all in on the metaverse, but it's not a true metaverse. It's a virtual platform. And these are closed platforms, and they have to be, and that's fine. Like essentially, that's fine if you're a closed platform. What that means is all the money's flowing to you. It's your company. You want to track the data analytics, everything. Everything that's sold is flowing through you. That's not a metaverse. That's gamification. That's a virtual platform. So combined with, augmented reality platform. The metaverse is a true open platform. And we're not talking about DeFi, which we're starting to realize DeFi can't really exist. And I know if you're from crypto and you're listening to that, DeFi can never really exist without some kind of layer of protection over it. Because once you get your money stolen, that's it, you're gone. And you're not going to get big money into DeFi, especially the trillions of dollars of Wall Street, unless there's some kind of layer of protection. And we're seeing that over and over and over again. But when you have an open platform where anyone can own their own digital material, assets, where developers can build whatever they want in this new world. I mean, think Tombstone. How many movies have been about Tombstone? Holy cow. You look at what, 1870s? Wyatt Earp traveled there with his brothers. So like 100 people living there in tents. And what did they do? They all wanted to stake their claim. It was a saloon they wanted to build, people making clothes, had to get access to food and mining materials, gambling halls they would build, restaurants, places you get newspapers, right? You need writers, construction. You're building a whole economy. And it's to whatever level you want, to where if I build this, let's see if we see demand. If we do, let's keep building and building and building. I mean, that's pretty cool. You have that in the real world. You don't have that in the digital world. You don't. I mean, anyone going to Tombstone and wanted to run a business, that they could. Yeah, but now on a digital side, it's YouTube, Facebook, Apple. I mean, these guys can kick you off their platforms whenever they want. Doesn't matter how many subscribers you want, just for saying the wrong thing. But you look at this play, everyone had a chance to build something, to create, make money. I mean, that's what a true metaverse is. That's what TCG is doing. That's what dozens of other companies are doing right now. So you have Facebook, Epic, Roblox. They have the user bases. And they're going to do fine. But we're likely going to see a lot of these people flock to other metaverses in the years ahead. Especially as they continue to get built, since it allows more freedom, more control of your property. No restrictions when it comes to innovation, technologies, ownership. That's what will make the next generation of social experience more personable, more engaging, and especially more fun. And people want to be entertained. They want to be entertained more than ever. A good example of this, one person I interviewed, his name is Dill, known as Dylan Rhodes. So, met him at the conference, interviewed him. He's a multi-platinum artist, had a viral single, Jordan Belfort, which hit number 25 on the billboards. Now, when it came to the money aspect, the record label made most of the money, and he kind of got shafted, got screwed. You hear that a lot. You don't hear that from the top people, the top, whatever, 3%. Comes to music or movies or whatever, but a lot of people get shafted. So, what did he do? He's now humble. He learned a lesson, young kid. And now he's selling NFTs to his 1 million plus listeners and plans to stream his concerts in the metaverse. Now, providing NFTs, what does that do? Because when his fans purchase these NFTs, they get exclusive perks. There's a lot of value there. Like getting a chance to meet him, having VIP access to his concert in the metaverse, having access to different versions of his hit songs. He told me he made 10 times more money using NFTs in the metaverse compared to when he was under a label and had a platinum selling hit. Now, times that by all of these entrepreneurs and people on the internet that have 10, 20, 30 million people following on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, where they're finally starting to realize that everything on there you don't own. You don't own that stuff. Making advertising dollars and making a little bit of money, you're producing all the content. You don't own it, though. You don't own it. Imagine everything you produce, you can put an NFT on, and anytime it's resold, and we see that, where people get popular, people get a band like the Rolling Stones or whatever, any band, anyone that's popular, people are going to want more and more, just like athletes. That's why they're doing this NFT, where I don't have to get the NBA involved, I don't have to get my agent involved, I don't have to get all these people involved. This is my stuff, and people want it, and it's probably the value of it's going to go higher and higher based on you, and you own your own franchise now. It's yours. You're the king of it. Not everybody else making money off of you. That's the future. Wall Street sees it. Influencers see it. Everybody see it. And that's why you're seeing money flow into this at this pace. Those entrepreneurs I met at the conference, I mean, it was incredible. You're going to have access to all his stories or ideas, which are fascinating. You're going to have that in the weeks ahead. But once you see these interviews, guys, once you see them, the passion, how they plan on using the metaverse to bring their brands to the metaverse. You know, it's using the metaverse and bringing their brands into these. And which ones are they going to select to bring them into the metaverses? Because there's going to be a bunch of them. It's not a comparison of the internet. People say, well, can't you just keep building and building and building? You're going to have certain metaverses. It's like streaming platforms. Whoever has the most entertainment, the most fun, which more engaging, that's going to get the most traffic. So graphics are a big thing, which is why Decentraland is a little dangerous, and so is OpenSeas. I mean, the graphics coming out right now, and, you know, I learned a ton about the technology, the engines that they're using, and from the developer end, wow, do we make a lot of contacts. Holy cow. But you're going to get a better understanding, especially once you see this content, these interviews. A better understanding of the metaverse, why it's the future, why it's here right now, why I put my money where my mouth is, right? It's a huge investment in it, $5 million virtual real estate purchase. And you're going to realize why those $10 trillion market predictions by Wall Street firms, it's likely going to be conservative. Because that's where everyone is going. It's happening now. It's not going to happen in a couple of years from now. So I'm going to tell you how to position yourself as an individual investor at a business, which you're going to need to do sooner or later, guys. It's going to be similar to creating a website for your company in the 90s. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Well, you better do it. You better. You're going to be left behind. There's a massive opportunity right now. Which my exact words when I spoke at the VIP party. We had a VIP party. It was kind of like a concert thing. I think Dill performed this stuff. And I didn't even know I was going to go up there. I kind of knew. And then they was supposed to be a panel or whatever. And next thing you know, like, yeah, Frank, could you speak? And there was 3 of us that spoke. And it was like 10-minute speeches each. And 2 people went before me. I was the last one. And yeah, I really didn't know what I was going to say, to be honest. I didn't even know I was speaking. But I said, look, guys, look to your right. And now everyone look to your left. And I say, you're all effing millionaires. You're early to this party. You have the ability to create almost whatever you want. And it's truly what I believe for anyone getting into this industry right now. It's that early. It seems like it's early. You're like, oh man, it's early, because a lot of people don't know about it. Wait until the next 6 months. Okay, I have a history of tracking this stuff. For me, I couldn't, when I brought you to Metaverse and doing this, before I made the $5 million part, I'm like, wow, this is cool. This is awesome. I didn't think that much money would flow into this brand new industry this quickly. And the people I'm talking to, the platforms, I'm seeing these platforms. I'm seeing examples of what they intend to do on these platforms. And I am completely blown away. When you see it, you're going to be blown away. It's like it was 6 years ago when Oculus just got bought by Facebook, and they were at the Consumer Electronics Show, and it was the first time I experienced real virtual reality, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It blew me away. Everybody was talking about it at that conference. It took a little while, 2 years, 3 years. Now, it's not just Oculus now. It's everybody getting into this industry. The technology's here. The industry's here. And when you see it, you're going to know why. It's definitely going to happen. It's going to happen a lot sooner than you think. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to share a lot of this content. It's amazing. From the Meta Expo, we interviewed tons and tons of people, shared many of their ideas, which you're not going to find anywhere else, because in order to find them, you need to be in the room. I've talked to you guys many, many times. You got to be in the room. Access to information is the greatest asset you could have. That's how you get into these trends. By having a great network of people. But you have to be in the room. You can't sit behind a desk. Got to be at these conferences. You got to be speaking to people. So if all those ideas, there could be 1 or 2 that you take that could be $1 billion idea. The only way you're going to get access to that and learn about that is if you're there. But these new metaverse companies, a lot of them that we met, they trust us since we have credibility with our virtual land purchase. And through TCG, who's a partner in our firm that introduces a lot of people, they met me face to face now. So they're giving us amazing access, which is going to lead to a ton of new ideas for you. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited. So guys, that's it for me. Questions, comments, from the email me at frankcurzioresearch.com. That's frank@curzioresearch.com. I'll be here with Daniel to break down the markets tomorrow. I'll see you then. Take care.